Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me today. We're talking about the Shawn Ryan podcast. He has a guy on named Ryan Montgomery, who is, I think, a white hat hacker or an ethical hacker, I think it is, and he's been exposing some of the most disgusting things about child exploitation on the internet for a very long time. This conversation is 5 hours long, but I'm going to focus on one section that's really, really important to the stuff that we talk about here in the Dad Challenge podcast. This is an incredible show, and if you have the time, I encourage you to go watch the whole thing, but let's talk about this part right here. Let's go. So the Shawn Ryan Show is a top-rated podcast hosted by the former U.S. Navy SEAL and CIA contractor Shawn Ryan. This guy is the real deal. He knows his onions. He's not afraid to talk about a lot of things. He has everybody on there, including the guy who did the podcast. He had a debate, I guess, between two Christians about the religion business, which is a show I'd like to see if it were on a platform that was streaming. I didn't have to pay $35 for it. It's ridiculous. Anyway, he's not afraid to have any conversations. Very much like Joe Rogan. He has no holds barred conversation. Very, very long form. Again, this one's over 5 hours long. That's insanity to me. But he gives the people the time and platforms and have great conversation. He's a great conversationalist, great interviewer, great podcaster. He has whistleblowers, scientists, cultural figures, and he has millions of views per episodes and has become one of the most popular platforms for unfiltered discussions on war, government secrecy, current events, and the personal stories of Americans' most elite warriors and operatives. This guy is really cool. That's all I'm saying. Like, he's a CIA operative. Like, he knows. Imagine being able to talk to someone like this. Anyway, Ryan Montgomery is a renowned ethical hacker, penetration tester, which means that it's not what you think it means. I mean, I think it goes into businesses that have to operate under, on the internet and things like that, and he penetrate tests how good their security is, and that's what he does. He finds back doors, and he finds ways to penetrate the security of websites and servers and all that kind of stuff. That's what he does for a living. And he's a cybersecurity expert, ranked number one on TryHackMe's Capture the Flag leaderboard, and serving as the CTO of the Sentinel Foundation, where he leads dark web investigations to dismantle child trafficking networks and protect vulnerable youth in collaboration with global law enforcement. As a co-founder of Pentester.com, a Boca Raton-based platform offering advanced vulnerability scanners, Montgomery exposes digital threats lurking in everyday apps like Roblox, Minecraft, smart devices, and online scams, with appearances in high-profile podcasts such as this one. And he delivers gripping, unfiltered insight into the shadowy world of cyber criminals, the deep web, dark web, and hackers. And this podcast that we're looking at right now isn't just about child exploitation, although he does touch on that. We're going to talk about Roblox today. We're going to talk about Brand Army and OnlyFans for kids, teenagers, Piper Raquel, if you know what I'm saying. He gets into all that in this one section. It's about an hour long. And I think for what we do here, this is a really, really good opportunity to break down. And this guy knows his onions, like Shawn Ryan does. Shawn Ryan knows who he has on his podcast. And this is a conversation you cannot miss. It is a deterrent to have a 5-hour podcast for a lot of people. No one has time to watch a 5-hour podcast. It just doesn't. It doesn't exist. So I'm glad he did it, and I hope a lot of other people break down. But this is a really, really important part that we're going to break down here.
Pretending like they want your expertise, but really they just want your notoriety to make them more money.
That's exactly right.
And that is a damn shame.
I don't mind saying it either because I know it's true. I know it's so blatantly obvious to me now. In the beginning, it was hard to know because it's like opportunity. And now it's just like, okay, I get it.
You want to do the work, not be a poster boy.
Right.
I commend you for that, because
thank you.
99% of the people would take the poster boy route every single time.
Got it.
And I do have a question though. I mean, you're the first person that I've talked to about sex exploitation and child trafficking and that kind of stuff. And then, like I said, there was Victor Marks, and then, Tim Tebow, Jared Hudson, Jim Caviezel. After my discussion with you, it's turned into I have to hit this every so often because it's the most important issue in the world.
Wait till you see what I have to show you next.
This gets crazy.
Why it's the most important issue.
I know.
Not only what you already know.
But what I want to ask is, and look, I don't want this to come across the wrong way. Saving a child is saving a child. It doesn't matter if it's in Thailand, Peru, Ethiopia, where Uganda. I don't care.
Imagine a Shawn Ryan, a guy this prolific. And I just had this thought for a second. I know they're just leading up to the question, obviously. But what's stopping... I know what's stopping these guys, but what's stopping all these operators from crowdfunding a strike team that goes into these countries kind of under the cover of, like, you know, Dark Knight Rises type of thing, and like just infiltrating? I know what's stopping them. I'm just saying, in my shower thoughts of me being like, I could do that. What's stop like crowdfunding these guys, paying them so much money to go into these places and rescue these kids? Like, I know they're not allowed to operate in there legally, and in the U.S. would have to disavow them. But just imagine, I would throw money at that shit. And to watch these guys go, and like they have, like, you know, cams on everywhere, and they like release it to the public when it's all done and shit like that. Could you imagine? Who wouldn't get behind that? That would be awesome.
A child. Mm-hmm. One thing though, and I'm just curious as to why, if you know why. So many of these organizations operate out of Haiti, Philippines, Thailand, you know, Colombia, Peru, you know, third world countries, countries in poverty. Mm-hmm. But I believe it's every single time that I breach this subject, the one commonality is the U.S. is the biggest consumer of kitty. We're the biggest problem in the world.
They consume it the most, and other countries provide it to them. And he's right. And that's the craziest part. And so, no, they're getting into the deeper, darker stuff, like obviously the actual trafficking. Like, I mean, what we talk about here is also trafficking. It's digital trafficking of children, and it's serving it up to us on a silver platter. It's a little bit safer than what these kids have to go through, obviously, and it's not as crazy, but it's still bad. But like, they get into the real deep, dark stuff here. But the thing about the consumers of it is true. The U.S. is the number one consumer of CSAM. And the other countries will just provide it because the product... This is why OnlyFans and shit shouldn't exist. This is like why all these places shouldn't exist when these teenagers turn to be 18 and then these guys go... Like, it's so easy to find these predators. They just don't want to find the predators. That's like... Or there's so many predators that it would be impossible to put them all in one place. Because there's literally millions and millions of them. And we also live in a time where the pendulum has swung so far left as far as justice is concerned that nobody wants to put people in prison anymore because it's not equality anymore. And it's like these people were just, you know, like, prove me wrong. In my country, it's the same. People are like, I lived through this as a child. I know this. The person that did things to people in my family, including myself, didn't serve the time that they should have served. The justice system has never been good enough or has never been adequate to put away child predators. If you hurt children, you should never breathe free air ever again. You should never breathe again as far as I'm concerned, but you should never be able to be out in public ever again. And so we don't do enough to these people. We don't even track them down, man. God forbid you're a politician who does it. Or a pastor. Like, there's so many protective layers to what these, and that's why they do it, because they are enabled to do it. And very few of them get caught. And when they do, they don't even go to jail for that long. Crazy to me. That's what I'm saying. Strike force.
The United States is the biggest problem in the world when it comes to sex trafficking and sex exploitation, correct?
Well, with the consumption of CSAM.
Why isn't all of the focus on the U.S. if that is the number one problem?
Good question.
If we are the number one consumer.
I would love to tell you that bringing what Tim Tebow said in here, there's 7 people working in C3. And there's
7!
Roughly 60 internet crimes against children locations in the entire country. The people that are making
a government who wants to hire what did Joe Biden want to hire for not CIA, the IRS? It was something like 87,000 agents to come after you for the taxes that you and the tips that you weren't claiming. That's what they want to do. But they have 7 people combating child trafficking. 7 people. They don't take, like, you don't need any evidence. You just have to see what they're doing. Okay? That's the priority they put on child safety. If we loved our children, if we did want to protect our children, CPS would have way more teeth than it has. Children wouldn't be shown on the internet ever. Not even in family vlogs, nothing. They wouldn't even be allowed to have their image shown on television ever. We wouldn't be exploiting them for acting either. I'm telling you, we just live in a world where it's like, well, yeah, these are necessary evils so that we can be entertained. No, man, we don't care. We don't give a shit about kids. We don't. And those of us who do, we are the minority. Is not even that loud. I would give my left nut. And I'll say that if all these social media companies said, Josh, I'll take your left nut, we'll make sure all the kids are off the platforms forever. Not until they're at least 16 years old are they allowed to be displayed or use social media at all. I'll give you my left nut. I'll donate it to the Nut Society. Okay? Like the fact that other countries are putting laws in first before Canada and the US, and I know I combine us because we're very similar, especially when it comes to laws and politics and everything else. Okay? Like, why are we the last when we're the most emerging and most all the other things in the world? Why are we always the last when it comes to justice? That pisses me off.
Most impact, I believe, are, some of these organizations that are working with, FBI, HSI, and it just needs to be better than that. We need to do better.
Why is it though? Why are so many foundations going to Haiti, Thailand, all the places that I just mentioned, and very little, if any, here in the U.S.? It's just, is it the red tape? Is it...
He knows the answer to this. Because the biggest users of this type of stuff and abusers of kids are at the higher echelons of power and money. Because, and I've said this a million times, and he knows this, he's just saying he wants to ask the question and frame it properly, and I get it. Those who have an abundance of things get bored of those things quickly, and once they are no longer satiate their needs, they step it up to the next level. That's why Jeffrey Epstein existed, everybody's talking about like, oh, I don't really release everything. Yeah, the thing is, if they released everything and you really truly did get a glimpse of who Jeffrey Epstein serviced, it would tear down the literal socioeconomic political system of the entire US. I'm not even kidding you. That's why they will never do it. You'll never see it. You will never see the full, unadulterated, full scope of what Jeffrey Epstein did, because it implicates too many high-level, powerful positions, and it would destroy the economy. Politicians everywhere would say that that's a good reason to keep that shit hidden. Well, because, it's for the greater good of humanity. Literally, it would destroy humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's incredible that these countries who want to see the U.S. taken down just don't try to get this material out there. This would do it. Right? They want to subvert. China wants to subvert by using TikTok and others, and they want to subvert by buying land and putting in grids and stuff like that in systems and countries. And China's playing the long game, by the way, just so you're aware. But they do that subversion. Why don't you just put this out there? Find the Epstein shit and put it out there. It would literally destroy the political landscape of the U.S. That's how many high-level politicians and high-level power positions who do this. We all know the answer. We all know that they do it. We all know that when you have what you want what you can't have. That's it. That's the easy answer. That's Occam's razor right there.
Is our federal government harboring this shit? Are they
They're the users of this, yeah.
Encouraging it? I mean,
yes.
That was a rumor for a long time, especially with the southern border. I mean, what is it?
There's a lot of alcohol back there.
Is it? I mean, we just saw one of the top guys at the Israeli cyber command or whatever got caught luring in kids to have sex with in a hotel room. I tweeted this out. Did we prosecute that individual? No. We packaged him up and sent his happy ass back to Israel. No consequences whatsoever. What the is that? What the is going on? Why are we packaging this guy up and handed him back to Netanyahu? Here you go. Here's your pedophile. Take care of him. We don't want him to get hurt. Yeah. What is that? What is that?
I love this guy, Shawn Ryan. That's me. Me and him.
Injustice.
Yeah, man. Yes.
Kids, man.
Right.
Where is it? What the is going on in our country, man?
And see, this is the most important thing that you'll ever see. Shawn Ryan's outrage to this is my outrage. It's all of our outrage. And we all know that it exists. But if you ever got close enough to be able to actually whistleblow on who is doing all this stuff, you would be killed. Okay, there's no gaining it. You can't do anything about it. It's a thing, a tale as old as fucking time. Okay, you'll never be able to finish this. The only thing, God coming back and destroying the earth, is the only thing that's going to stop any of this stuff. And it's so sad to hear it. And it's so frustrating. Now, day to day, I sit on this platform sometimes. And day to day, we call out these people. And it's like I'm yelling into a fucking void, right? And I'm not saying that you're the void, but we're all here together. And this, we all know that this is wrong. It's so blatantly, obviously wrong. That to exploit children is wrong. There's not even a question about it. There's nobody out there that's ever come close to give me an explanation and be like, maybe this is no, man, nothing will make this okay. And nobody does anything about it. Nobody.
And why aren't these organizations, why aren't they focused on the US? This is the biggest problem.
So my guess, just based on my experience, my guess is there's not access to a lot of the information. So if there's a group being ran in the United States, and we, like for example, if I get involved in it, it's going right to a federal agency, and at that point, it may not ever go public. Mm-hmm. So that is happening.
So that's good. Like what he said is like, you don't even hear about that, but we should hear about that. Give us a little hope. Give us a little bit of like, here's what we did, guys. We took down this shady organization that does all this shit. And, so I need you to understand we're doing some good stuff. Why not tell us? Why? They don't want you thinking about it. That's why. They don't want you being like, well, let's get more then. They don't want that. And they're only taking down the worst, if that, of the top, or not even. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're just taking down the low-level plebs because they just need to get something done so they get their funding for next year.
Ooh. Like these big media cases sending someone back to Israel or whatever.
What is that?
I can't answer it. There's so many things that I wish I had an answer to. Like
Did you see the shit with the Epstein files? It keeps getting swept under the rug. Like it's like, what the is going on here, man?
The Epstein thing too pisses me off because everybody's super mad at Trump, and I get it. He ran on opening that up, and then he kind of like pushed it aside. And I don't think he pushed it aside because he's guilty of anything. I honestly don't. And I'm not a Trump fan. Okay, I just think he's like, you guys focus on the wrong thing. Like, I get that he's saying that, but don't run on something and not release it. But everybody argues, and because Trump's not doing it now, Trump's the big. Biden was in office for 4 years. This information existed 4 years ago. Why didn't they release it? Again, no politician, either stripe, wants this information out there. Once you get a glimpse of what's actually going to be in there, no politician would release it. It would destroy all of Washington all of them. I'm not saying they're all guilty, but it would destroy the entire thing. It would destroy it. And that's why they don't want people want their $275,000 a year and their golden pension. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about kids. In the end, when they actually see what's in there, a lot of them have. It never gets released after that. Isn't that weird? Regardless of your political stripe. That's the problem here.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. And it's either a conspiracy or it's not.
It's a conspiracy.
It's definitely not a conspiracy. Yeah. The shit I'm talking about is real.
Meaning conspiracy can be real. I see what he's saying though. It is a conspiracy, meaning that we are being conspired against. This is a conspiracy. It's real though. It's the truth. We all know that Jeffrey Epstein did what he did. And not one person yet has been held accountable except for Ghislaine and Jeffrey, who was killed in prison. He did not commit suicide. Okay, we all know that. It's so silly. Those are the only two people so far have been held accountable for this. We know that Bill Clinton was like literally the number one fan and person that went there. Nobody seems to give a shit. This guy was getting BJs in the Oval Office. This guy was best friends. He went there a million times and no one's like, oh, well, it is what it is. Prince Andrew. Like, I can go on forever, guys. We know prolifically these women who are out there speaking about it, they have cease and desist orders about not speaking against it. And the thing that's stopping them, a lot of people are like, why don't they just say names? They can't. Legally, they would be put in prison. Do you understand that? If they spoke out against the Johns and things that used their services when they were minors, they could be put in prison, likely killed. Do you understand? And so they're waiting for the government to unlock everything and release those cease and desists and those non-disclosure agreements so that they can whistleblow. They are being held by the system itself. They cannot publicly speak out because if they'll just say it's a lie, and then they can just arrest them for lying, or they speak out against these agreements that they signed. They were young and they signed agreements because they were scared. Like, this goes so deep. It's so far beyond anything we've ever seen, and it sucks to even have knowledge of this stuff and understand it, and most people just don't give a shit. That's the thing that's crazy about this.
And no, I'm just
look it up for yourself.
The people watching, they got to make that decision for themselves, or that assumption for themselves. Do they think that this country is holding out on the details?
Yes.
Or not?
Yes, they are.
I just don't.
They are.
Don't understand it. If the United States is the biggest consumer of sex crimes and sex exploitation and trafficking and all these other things, then this would be the easiest spot to make a dent, right? If we are running rampant in this,
because it would take, again, there is no other way to put this. It will literally destroy your whole entire system. Would tear down. One man did so much disgusting shit, and we all know what he did was wrong, and he fed it to, and he became the Disneyland for Plutos and high-level oligarchs and politicians to take advantage of this, because he was a CIA asset, and it was used to, it's literally just, it's dog collars on these people. It's what it's used for. They find the most disgusting thing that you want to take apart, and they feed it to you, they give it to you, and then they use it against you for power. The power that you see in the politicians out there, I know I'm wearing a tinfoil hat, I don't give a shit. The power that you see perceived is not the power. The power is the shit you can't see. It's the money behind the politics. It's the people in the back rooms making deals and phone calls and text messages. You don't see real power. The shit that you see is a soap opera. That's not what's going on. I'm sorry.
Think of it like this. I'll give you another good example to add to your argument. Every single airport you go in, what's the sign you see in the bathroom, on the walls, over the intercom? What do you hear every single time?
You see something, say something.
If you see something, say something. Human trafficking is a real thing. Human trafficking is a fight. Call this number if you see, this or that. Do you think they would be using that space in the airport for human trafficking signs over making ad money from advertisers? Absolutely not. It's a real thing. It's very real. The reason why we're not hearing about it, I couldn't tell you.
Money. Especially when it comes to social media. Money.
Other than there might be something just above both of our heads. And
Ryan knows what he's saying every time. It is something above everybody's heads. He knows. He's careful and he's smart, but he knows what he knows.
Like, I can tell you that we work on cases domestically for sure, and we work in tandem with law enforcement on those cases. That happens, but I can't answer like what happened.
I'm not saying all law enforcement. I don't want to come across like that, but you know what I mean? When I see shit like after the first interview we did, and then you got a couple of FBI agents running you around to Nashville and tailing you and surveilling you and harassing you, it's like, hey bud, maybe like go save some kids and leave this dude alone. Like go make something of yourself. Like, do something positive. Like, go save a kid or anybody. Just do something. You're the FBI. Like, be an admirable human being instead of
the ones that were tailing me around were the HSI guys, but they were nice.
The guy's being tailed. Instead, like what Shawn is saying, he's being tailed because of what he does. Okay, and who he calls out. That's the thing. They'll put their resources behind silencing people before they would put the resources behind saving kids. That's all you need to know. I'm sorry. It's the truth. It sucks. And there's nothing we can do about it. Really, there isn't. These guys are speaking nothing but truth on a podcast in a free and open society. And yet no one seems to give a shit.
They were obviously the FBI tailed you into the damn
they did.
premiere.
They did. It wasn't
right there.
It was. I remember now. I don't remember the guy's name, but it was their boss who happened to be there at that time.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was the situation. But I remember you being pissed.
I was.
I was in the bathroom, remember? And then in the bathroom, that's when I got the text. And then you, like, at that point, we were in the hallway and you were pissed. You just wanted to leave.
Yeah.
So, I remember it.
but and then you see a guy like Jim Cole who's spent his entire career doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's not at like the workers level, but when you know what I mean? I mean, Jim Cole, I think he's very similar to you. You know,
that's all he cares about. He is a black and white guy, straight to the point. He would never, that man would not jaywalk.
All he wants to do is save kids.
Save kids. And you know another person I want to give credit to while it's on my mind, because I know Jim knows her as well. Someone I work with current day.
I think he's among Jim Caviezel.
That I've known since the beginning of this. Her name is Yvette Thomas. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She's like the godmother, like Jim Cole is the godfather of this space. Oh, there's not many people that have made it around. She's been in federal law enforcement for 36 years, I believe it was, 20 of which have been in specifically child crimes. So she recently, she helped me identify a bunch of victims in a case that we were working, and it was a case in Cleveland where a guy was getting little girls and boys on FaceTime and group calling people, and they were getting paid. This scumbag was getting paid to have them do sexual acts via FaceTime. The phone of that suspect got dumped, and there was a bunch of children's faces and more on it, but all I received at the time was like 140 photos of children's faces and different, some were looking this way, that way, some were blurry, but the ones that I could identify, I identified a bunch of them, and she's got some tools I don't have, so I sent her the files. She identified a couple of them as well. I sent them back, and since they're all in the Cleveland area, they were able to identify, I'm assuming, way more.
This is why you keep your kids off the internet, by the way, everybody. If you're not listening, what are you saying? Who of your children have access to like FaceTime and getting on the internet unfettered? Do you have children that do that? I don't care how safe you think you are. Your children should not be on the internet. Not at all. This is because groomers are some of the most, I want to say intelligent, but they are intelligent when it comes to technology. They're the first adopters of early technology in order to use it for their own nefarious purposes. And they find it and they use it first. Just so you guys are aware, AI, when it first became as powerful as it was, the first thing it was used for was by chomos to do what they want to do with it. I'm telling you, okay? Those things strike the industry hard, and those guys are always the early adopters because they're always looking for an edge over police and other people to get ahead of it so they can continue to do what they want. I just need you to know that. And you're not smart enough to combat it. The only thing that's going to stop it is getting kids off the internet. All of them.
I don't have a direct contact with the guy right now. I'd have to wait till I text him after the interview. But just think of like all of the girls and boys in that area. A lot of them go to school together. They do things together. They're going to be able to identify each other. Mm-hmm. So I feel really good about that. And her and I have worked on a bunch of cases like that, which are just thrown at us randomly. Technically, she's retired right now. She's doing this just out of the kindness of her heart. And there's not many of hers. There are not many of Jim Cole's. There are not many of Yvette Thomas's. Yeah. There
should be thousands of them. How do I get into this industry? What do I have to do? Man, maybe that's what my next thing go to school for is to learn how to be an ethical hacker to find these bastards. There's guys on the internet right now, and a lot of people get upset with them, but they go and they track down predators, and they beat the shit out of them. It's hard to watch sometimes, but good. Do you know what I'm saying? Good, because the police aren't doing shit. And even when they do get one, they get off real easy. Okay, you have to be literally a murderer, and sometimes not even that is good enough. Do you know what I'm saying? No one gives a shit about kids for real. Like, the real thing here is that nobody cares. You can say you do, and all these politicians can ask these social media conglomerates and magnates to get up there and talk about, oh, we have some gaps in our security when it comes to... F*** off. You don't give a shit, because if you did, you could stop it now. 5 lines of code. It's over. You know what I'm saying? They don't do it. They never will.
The blessing to have those people in this country.
It's just, it's odd. We've been screaming at the top. I mean, dude, the episode we did, hundreds of millions of views. Yeah. With all the clips, all the reels, the episode, the downloads, like all together, it's hundreds of millions of views. And that's just two people talking about it for less than 3 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Now there's lots of people talking about it. I just did a music video with John Rich, who's singing a song about child exploitation. I met this woman who was trafficked, and now she's kind of doing what you're not with the tech and stuff, but she's she's going after traffickers. She's helping with rehabilitation. And I'm hoping to actually get her on the show. Her name's escaping me right now. Wish I knew it, but and then anyways.
I would love to go on this guy's show, not just for my own, to boost my own platform. It's not the reason. I would love to have a conversation with this guy because he's intelligent. Shawn Ryan would be. I feel like he doesn't know enough about it, and I think he would have his eyes opened about just online exploitation, not the deeper, darker stuff, but just this world that we talk about. I know he knows exists. But like an hour-long conversation about the depths of this would get this conversation over the top. And it doesn't have to be me. Go get someone else. I don't give a shit. Someone who knows what they're talking about when it comes to child exploitation, get on this guy's show. Okay? I would love to have a conversation with him. And I did reach out to his team, but this guy probably gets 1 million messages a day. Like I expect to completely fall through the cracks. If you ever run his video, tag me in one of his videos. Hey, get Dad Challenge Podcast, tag me in it. Okay, because I would love to go on this guy's show and like literally just open up and just unload every bit of information I've gathered in the last 4.5 years on child exploitation on the internet. Because this is a big deal. If you can stop this, if you can get the conversation going to this degree, you could start lobbying politicians again who have some power, who want to do this, to really make it a popular topic for politicians to do, and they'll do it because they're just self-serving. The only way to get shit done is to give it to a politician who knows it's going to advance their career. That's unfortunate. That's what lobbying is. Lobbying isn't just being like, hey, we're trying to go do your better judgment, and can you do this? No, lobbying is like, hey, I'll grease your pockets. I will give you this thing. I will do this. We will do all these things. You will be rich. Lobbying should be illegal in my opinion. I've talked about it many times, but man, lobby this. Make it popular for politicians to bring this to the forefront, and they'll do it. Otherwise, they don't give a shit. Because all they worry about is the next re-election. That's it. Guys, it's the sad truth. So make it something that they want to do.
What I'm saying is, like, all these people are screaming at the top of their lungs at how often this is happening, and you see it. I mean, 50% of the people I interview here, you included, some type of... You don't call it trauma. I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Sexual trauma.
I would call it trauma. So you can call everyone. It's not trauma to me, but it's.
I get it. But you know what I mean? It's at least I just had Tig from Benghazi here. And he was talking about how many. He was like, I can't even remember how many times he was sexually assaulted before he was an adult. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was like, Tig, like, man, this is. It's like a monthly occurrence for you. This is horrible. Yeah. And
a lot of people are scared to talk about it.
And then Tim comes on, and just like he said, 7, I thought the number was actually 9, but only, 7, not less than 10 people in the entire country are dedicated to this.
Yeah, less than 10.
Like,
in the entire country, 375 million people. And how many agents are in the FBI? As of fiscal 2025, the FBI employs approximately 13,623 special agents. And 7 work on this. Not even talking about what I'm talking about. On the high level exploitation, CSAM. 7 of 13,600. 7. Is that a priority? Is that what a priority looks like to you guys? More people get tickets for jaywalking than they do doing this. Okay? They put so much more effort into other things. It's crazy.
But he's stopping that from growing. Somebody is stopping that from growing.
Yes, don't forget about yeah, you're right. There's some things that are out that are definitely I don't know, but there are the FBI and the HSI and even Secret Service have a child crime. They all have a little piece in this fight.
A little piece.
Yeah, that make up less than 0.0001% of the agencies. You should have at least 10,000 people in agencies across the globe or across the US working on this type of stuff. You're not even going to make a dent with 7 people. You're not going to do anything. You will not do anything. And they don't. And that's the thing. They don't want to. why don't Congress get these people, like the head of FBI, Kash Patel, be like, you're Kash Patel. You came in here. Why didn't you increase that to hundreds, thousands? What's stopping you? We'd like an answer on that. And they'd be like, well, I'd love to hear an answer.
They need a big piece.
Why is this not growing?
Shawn, I could pull my laptop up, not go into a teen chat. I could go on a dating app right now. Let's give you an example. And within, like, I could just put my laptop down to the side. If I open that up, like, it shows a map of where you're at. And it's a whole other topic that would take me an hour to explain, but it's a great app for decoys to go on, because it shows it's not a good app it's a horrible app for children. It's an app for gay people, and like very similar to, if you're familiar with Grindr. Grindr is a dating app where they swipe yes or no, or message the people, and they, their conversation.
It's a gay one.
Conversations delete when they're done. They hook up with each other and they never see each other again. It's not really like a
sounds like a great way to spread disease.
Relationship app. This one it's called Sniffies. And
Sniffies?
Yeah, it's not an app. It's a website that can work on mobile or computers, and you can press the button use anonymously. You don't need to put in any email. You don't have to sign up. You have to do nothing. You click use anonymously. You end up with this map around you because you share your approximate location.
For the curious.
Pretty spot on to your exact location.
Look at that. Use anonymously. On phone,
and it tells you everyone around you that's using the app. If I throw up a picture of myself using like a filter that makes me look young, I'll get DMs from people in this area, not just somebody in a teen chat that's, anywhere in the world, people here, and then they'll message. You have to go in, you have to have a little bit of a conversation back and forth. They'll ask you how old you are. You tell them you're under, and, let's just say 8 out of 10 times, they're fine with it, and they want to meet up. So for the decoys out there and the other agencies out there, if they could just automate Sniffies, they would find a ton of these guys. They could automate the process and literally go just set warrants and pick them up. Like, it's that easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
How the f*** are doing this stuff, man?
I really don't know, man. That's the part that frustrates me.
It's like they want it to happen.
I'd hope not.
I mean, I hope not too, but it's like, what else can you think?
It's weird.
This shit's been going on forever. And it's getting louder and louder and louder and louder. Nothing's being done, man. Yeah. It's just nonprofits setting up all over the place. It's all these nonprofits, which is great. Thank God somebody's taking it into their hands, but it should be our f***ing law enforcement that's doing this shit. That's who it should be.
Yeah.
And it's not.
I agree, and I don't want to speak negatively here.
Like, I consider myself pretty good at technology, right? And what my kids are going to be on, I'm obviously behind, but like, I didn't know anything about that. What the f***, man? That shit exists. Humanity is doomed. And you know what? F***ing good. It's about time.
And be wrong, but when
I feel bad for God sometimes. I know that sounds weird, but like, he created something and he wanted people to love him, and all we did was pervert every bit of human nature that it could possibly be perverted. And we are in a world, in a system, in a time of any other time. And I know that there's been debauchery all throughout history. I get that, okay? But we gotta admit that right now we are in a time of debauchery that's like celebration of debauchery. Don't kink shame. OnlyFans is good. Sex work is real work. And like, we've come to the point where it's like, where you could say the most obvious thing. It's like, I don't want this 17-year-old who just turned 18 to put her nudes on the internet and a million grown men go pay for it. And they're like, well, she's legal. That's what you hear, man. We're done. We're toast. We have never been this bad ever in my lifetime either. It's only going to get worse, people. AI has just made it worse and easier too. It's time, man. It's time. I feel so hopeless after watching shit like this. When these guys have conversations and you discover new things about the debaucherous human nature of us as a society. Like, I get so hopeless that there are so many of us who are just the worst type of human being that could, and I mean so many. And the internet and social media and AI has just made that gap bigger, by the way. It has made those men, and I'm not saying it's all men, but let's be real, man. Let's be real. It's the majority. And AI is just like, you go on Facebook and you're getting ads for like, hey, get this woman to be your person on AI, and like, you can ask her to do anything and she'll do anything for you. You think that's safe? Of an epidemic of lonely men already, now just having relationships with robots? With computers? Where are we, man? And it's just making children's lives more dangerous, because you don't even have to be rich anymore and wealthy and powerful to get the most debaucherous things fed to your eyeballs every second of the day. I feel so bad for the world my kids are growing up in. I have no hope.
Get into the 764 case. The FBI has, to my knowledge, 240 different active investigations right now regarding the 764 case.
What is the See, you guys need context like I need context. The 764 case refers to a series of ongoing federal investigations prosecuted by the FBI and U.S. Department of Justice, a global nihilistic violent extremist network that originated in the U.S., of course it did, founded by Texas teenager Bradley Cadenhead, now serving an 80-year sentence for child exploitation. The group, named after his zip code, operates primarily on platforms like Discord, Telegram, Roblox, and Minecraft to target vulnerable minors as young as 9. Through sextortion, grooming, and coercion. Members befriend victims online, obtain compromising images via social engineering. Now, hold on to that, okay? And these kids who are online, who are in social media that we talk about, they are one of the major targets of these people. Even if it's just regulars who want to that's why they can't trust anybody. Their parents don't tell them that. How many kids do you think have been blackmailed in this industry? We know that James from Dr. Dozen was blackmailed, and she laughed about it. And she's like, "Oh, get it all figured out." Do you think she let that slip? But how many do you think actually get it blackmailed and don't speak up about it? And parents want them to stay quiet about it because it would destroy the whole thing. I bet you it's in the thousands. If you have your child on the internet, they are vulnerable to this. How dare you? Then extort, further exploit explicit content, self-harm, animal abuse, or violence, often sharing exploits to gain status within the network. This has led to documented suicides, real-world attacks, firebombings, and child SA material distribution as of mid-2025. The FBI has opened over 250 investigations across all 55 field offices, treating 764 as domestic terrorism due to its chaos-sowing ideology, with arrests including leaders like Leonidas Varigianis in Greece and Prasan Nepal Trippi in North Carolina, facing life sentences if convicted. Holy I didn't even know about that. Do you know about that? You think influencers know about that? I would not want to be Ryan Montgomery's brain and having all this shit in my brain, doing what you can, but not being able to do enough.
I can tell you that within the short period of time that we've started an operation at Sentinel investigating 764, there is more than 240 different things that we found that, so like with just passive reconnaissance.
Say that again. The FBI has how many?
They have 240. Let me get the numbers for you, just so I want to be 100% accurate.
What a joke! What a fucking joke!
I don't want to talk negatively, but it's.
No, I get what Ryan's doing. He's got to work closely with law enforcement. He's got to create a relationship that works, and so he can't be out there disparaging it. But this guy's it's hopeless. He feels like he's hopeless. And Shawn Ryan's calling out. I like it, but this guy has to keep a relationship so he can continue doing what he can, even if it's small. At least he's doing something.
It's true. So I'll read it straight from here.
Here we go. Get ready to get pissed off, everybody.
Yep.
Okay. So 764 adjacent discords and all of the, because remember, I'm not giving these people credit by username, not giving them credit by their group names. The only one that I'll talk about is 764 because it's only giving them what they want. They want
and in order to put it out there more, the thing is that it is a meeting spot for more predators. They're like, they look at this shit because they want to learn how to do it. They're not being like, that's the double-edged sword here. You want to call them out, but at the same time, you don't want to I just learned 2 new things I never heard about before. And a predator who exists in this world like this is looking for that too. You see what I'm saying? It's a double-edged sword for sure.
Recognition, these people.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of subgroups, a ton of them. They all are doing exactly the same thing, but I'll get into the whole story in a minute, but the FBI is part of 250 probes tying these streams to global rings. 250. So I was off by 10.
250.
The FBI has found 250.
Which means that there's probably 10,000 of them.
The word that I'm reading. So I can tell you that there's way more than 250 people doing this. There's more than 250 people.
Probably 2.5 million. It's probably 25 million in the U.S. doing it. It's 375 million people. You guys know how prolific this is in this. Like, this is the thing, guys. I've uncovered this on this channel many times. Look, Everly LeBrant was one of the major ones, which was such an eye opener for me. It's such a huge, important topic. 70% of the audience watching her content of her in tights and stuff like that was adult men over the age of 24. That's not like teenagers watching it. That's not teenagers watching on their dad's accounts. Like, people are like, fuck off, man. Maybe you can account for 2-3%, but even like, it's just not happening, man. Dads don't give their phones to their kids to scroll on Instagram. Moms, maybe, not dads. It just doesn't happen. Okay, I'm sorry. And just by numbers alone of dads who work outside of the house wouldn't make it possible. And so we saw the analytics that they barred me from using because I outlined it, okay? They barred me from using it and threatened to sue me because I used their analytics to prove my point. Cost me a lot of money for those analytics. 70% adult males over 24 years old were watching a 7-year-old dance in leotards. Of 7 million followers, people. Right?
It's one server that I would join to get some screenshots that I'm about to show you.
That's what the FBI has. What has Sentinel done?
Sentinel, just in the last month and a half, almost 2 months, we've infiltrated 3 different groups that I don't want to name, but you'll see them. I would say there's 1,000 different users. The minimum 1,000.
So you've probed 1,000
users,
dudes. Understand this for a second. Users.
And the FBI's probed 250?
I don't know if they're talking about, they're not really clarifying here. It's 250 probes. That's all it says. So I don't know
open
if
investigations.
Users, groups, arrests, communities.
Investigations.
I mean, there's a lot I don't really know.
They're going to, the thing is, they're not going to give you the numbers because they know it's not enough, and they're going to make it sound like it's really more than it really is. That's the truth.
Definitely not arrests, otherwise it would say arrest.
No, it's not arrests. It's not arrests. The FBI hasn't done nearly as many arrests as they need to.
250 in a lifetime. Sentinel does it for 2 months and gets 1,000.
Yeah, and watch what happens.
How many people work at Sentinel?
Roughly. That are working on this case specifically. This is an operation that I got to kind of cherry pick people involved. If you don't count one of the main guys that's overseeing it with the feds, there's 6.
So they have less than the FBI, and they're 10 timing what the FBI does. What else do you need to know?
6 people.
6 people on this operation.
Wow. Wonder how many people at the FBI are working on it.
2.
Must be less than 6, right? I mean, if you guys got 1,000 in a couple of months and they got 250, and I don't know.
You're gonna get my house lit on fire, Shawn.
Well, that's that.
I agree with you. It's frustrating. What can I do about it? You know?
Yeah.
No, you're doing what you can do about it, Ryan. And I love that you're doing this. I love that you're out there. This guy needs a presidential medal of honor. Okay, for what he is doing. This guy needs to win the Pulitzer and the prizes. Give him the accolades. This guy's out there. I can't even imagine the things that this guy's eyeballs have seen. That's got to haunt him. Okay, this is the guy that deserves to have 1 trillion followers on Instagram, not Mr. Beast. Okay, this is the guy that we need to be listening to. This is the guy that we need that needs to be running departments inside of FBI. This guy here, you could tell by listening to his heart that like it hits him hard, but he can't do more.
Somebody's house needs to sound the alarm, but it ain't yours.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Casey Affleck, by the way, which I love Casey Affleck.
Yeah.
I'm sure Casey Affleck's a turd. I don't know. I like his acting.
Government agencies, it doesn't matter who's in there. They're just worthless.
They are worthless.
They're just worthless.
I like that.
A lot of hope for this one. I did. I had a lot of hope.
For what?
For that things are going to change and they're going to be great.
Nah,
man. Shawn, you know better than that.
And go after all the bad guys.
Speaking of that, going back on a positive note, what has changed, like you just got done saying, the preventative side of things, I truly believe, and said to you in the beginning, I believe that preventing it from happening in the first place, if possible, is the most effective solution to this problem.
Yep.
So by letting parents know
Yep.
that this is a thing. By letting parents know what they can do about it, how they can talk to their kids about it, or educating them about it, there's a very strong chance you're going to stop something that you would have just thrown the iPad at your kid or put them on a computer, not knowing, like, oh, it's a kid's game, Roblox, little cartoon squares running around the screen.
Man, I would do that. I did this in my band. We used to travel around to schools, and we were talking about social justice and like going overseas to help people, and like it was cool. Kids loved it. I was in the band, so we were the entertainment, but I had a speech about bullying and all this kind of stuff and growing up in this world. And I would absolutely go 100% on a tour around the U.S. educating parents on this. The thing is, you'd have to present it in like, you'd have to do it in a way like you'd have to hire like comedians to like do a show and then have like a thing, like, because they're not going to really come. Only people are going to come out of people already know about this. That's the problem. People don't want to know about this because it honestly, once you learn about what's really going on, it hurts to have zero hope. But he's right. If you can educate enough parents to do this kind of stuff, like I think people where, if you work for the government, you're coming out to this TED Talk or whatever the case may be, we're going to fund it. We're going to make sure you get a hotel in Vegas, going to have these major conferences, parenting conferences that make them fun. Make them fun. Come on out, get some parenting tips and tricks, and get some of the most famous comedians and bands, and have these big shows where parents are coming out to enjoy a weekend away from the kids and getting educated on the but make it awesome. Do you know what I'm saying? Like these YouTube conferences and things that people go to. Make it like the most legit awesomeness thing ever. Parties and freaking red carpets and have comedians and have dinners and have these things, and then just get up there and present your information in a way that's easily digestible. That they can, because as soon as you educate parents on this shit, I promise you, good parents will step up and do the job. And I think the majority of parents love their kids so much. The majority, I'm not saying the minority, the majority of people would listen to this stuff and be like, my kids are never going to Roblox. My kids are never going on YouTube. My kids are never going to have unfettered access to the internet. They're just not educated. That's the problem, man. I can educate my circle, and I do. Oh man, do I do. And I try to do it here on this channel, and it gets spread a little bit, and I do. I've gained 310,000 subscribers on that. But like this topic alone, if it became, again, as prolific as it needs to be, social media companies would perk up, they would listen. But they make too much f***ing money. That's the problem.
I mean, how dangerous could this be?
Yeah.
Like, if they don't know any different, then they're putting their kid in a dangerous situation and they don't know it. But if they know and they're listening to the words that you and I are saying and they take action, I feel like that's making change.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that is valuable.
It is valuable.
But that's just my opinion on it.
It's the correct opinion.
It's definitely making change. I just wish that the government would take this shit a little bit more serious.
Agreed. So
They're the ones that really have the keys to make this shit go away.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
They aren't doing it.
Nope.
They are not doing it.
I agree with you. It's frustrating that more can be done. That is for sure.
Are we getting ready to talk about...
Yeah, I want to show you one more thing, though.
Okay.
Regarding that, because it just kind of brought it to my attention.
We got to take a break before we do that, because I'm already about to lose my mind, and this is really good.
But this is something I want you to see, because you're already pissed off, and I'm not trying to piss you off more, but it's something that you need to know. This is straight from the Google website. And this is the global request for user information. So you can see here, subpoenas is red. Look, so back here is 2010, barely less than 10,000. Going all the way to 2000, let's say 15, we're at 20,000 requests for, less than 20,000 requests for subpoenas, right? Then you start getting into these later years.
Holy shit.
The biggest difference, like triple, quadruple, quintuple. So this information, this is just Google. This isn't all the other places that are receiving subpoenas. And this is, primarily, I would say, the United States. Who else is sending subpoenas to Google? So, I mean, other people are.
So if I'm understanding it correctly, that the law are sending subpoenas to Google to access the information about these people, and Google's using their considerable wealth and power to stop it. That's what it sounds like to me. And it's only increased more and more and more and more. Again, Google, going to be held accountable eventually someday for the people who run Google, the CEOs of YouTube and Google and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. All these people are going to be held accountable someday. This life or the next. Yeah, you get to live in the lap of luxury now. But man, I don't wish the judgment of God on you, because it's going to be harsh. I know I'm swearing a lot in this one, guys. It's pissing me off. And I'm invoking like Christianity and God's judgment while saying the F word. I understand that. And I'm meaning to do it. Okay, because there is some justice. There will be justice. Just maybe not in this lifetime, because they're above justice. You guys all know it, man. Billionaires and these oligarchs and these people who live at the upper echelons of power who can give these politicians money, they don't have to do what we do. They don't answer to the same tier of justice that we do. It just doesn't happen. And that's, man, does this stuff not make you even more depressed after watching it and understanding it?
Jeez. Is that an image?
It's an image, but it's on Google's website. You can.
We gotta overlay it.
Global request for user information. A variety of laws, the government and agencies around the world request user information for civil, administrative, criminal, and national security purposes. This global request report, at least I have to put this out. But look at the requests, man, as of 2010. Now they're up around 90,000, 80,000 requests for, what's brown? Where's the brown? I don't see it here. But subpoenas, red. Look at the subpoenas. Holy shit balls. That's crazy.
That on the screen.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Search warrants. Look at the yellow for search warrants. Holy Lipton.
All right. So we're getting ready to dive into the nasty shit.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm going to put it there because we're at an hour. Damn. So this is really, really interesting to me. And guys, I want you to watch this next one too. Okay. I know these ones aren't like the funny, snarky, it's not these, but these are the most important videos I've ever talked about on my channel. When we talk about this stuff, the real nitty gritty of this industry, this is the most important video. I know it's not entertaining. I know it's not, but you got to put this in your brain, guys, and you need to share this with your circles. You really do, with teachers and principals and people who are serving in Cubs and volunteering with children. This stuff needs to get into their brain, and maybe I need to make it a digestible video, and maybe I can do that where it's just like, here's the dangers. And I've done it many times, but maybe I need to keep doing it. But please don't stop watching this one, because I'm going to do another episode tomorrow for on part 2, because what they start getting into is the stuff that I talk about too. Okay? So everybody take a deep breath with me. Whew, dang. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Please be here for tomorrow. Don't forget it, guys. Thanks for being here for these tough conversations. I want to hear your comments below. What are we doing about this? What can we do about this? How do we get this in front of more people's eyes? Who can we got to figure this out for realsies. We have a grip on social media and entertainment more than we ever have before. It's not gatekeeped anymore. So let's figure out how we get this out into everybody's eyeballs. Because if the vast majority of parents were educated in this, the vast majority of the kids being trafficked in this would be diminished to a huge degree. I think we could all agree, right? Anyway, thanks for being here, guys, and I will see you tomorrow for part 2.